As we wind down here, Mr. Marceau, one final thing from Raw before we call it a day. The return of Mustafa Ali. We haven't seen him on WWE TV in many months. It's been well documented. We discussed it before that he requested his release back in January publicly on Twitter. They did not grant the release. He tweeted about them asking him to be in the Rumble, and he said no, and it's been kind of radio silence since then, although he has been active on social media. All of a sudden, he's back on Raw. I mean, he was drafted to SmackDown in October, but I guess they felt like Raw needed him more, even though SmackDown has no stars. Not that Ali's going to be a game changer, but I don't know. I just feel like SmackDown might be a better fit at this point. But he was brought back to Raw on Monday, confronted The Miz, and essentially set his sights on the United States Championship, beat Miz, and was attacked by Ciampa. So a lot going on with Ali for a guy that seemed to be on the outs of the company even a week ago. Not that he still doesn't want out. I'm sure he does, but at least they're actually using him, you know? I mean, I think it's bullshit that they had nothing to do for him and they wouldn't let him go. I think that's dumb. Although I know he signed a contract and he should be there until it's over if they're going to use him. That's the thing, but they weren't using him until now. So at least they're finally using him, and I thought this was a good way to bring him back. If you're going to make the most of the time that he has for right now, I thought this was a nice way of doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's nice to see him come back. I'm 100% on your side. You signed a contract. I mean, obviously not everything works out, but I mean, it is what it is. You're still getting paid. It's not like he's not getting paid. So,
yeah.
But it was nice to see him come back against The Miz. Like you said, kind of weird. Then he got tagged by Ciampa. So we'll see here. But like you said, someone that was seemingly on the outs, kind of back on the fold. So it was nice to see him back. I think he's a good little solid hand there. And I'm interested to see what they do with him and Ciampa next.
Yeah, no, I'm very curious to see where this goes from here. I mean, they have Ciampa, who is just Ciampa, by the way. Did you see that he's not Tommaso anymore?
Yes.
Yeah, no, he's just Ciampa now. So do you think this, I've been asked this a lot too, do you think this return run for Ali will be used to get someone over like a Theory before they ultimately let Ali go during the next round of budget cuts and he might get Ciampa over or whatever? Or do you think he might actually have a sustained push, which he didn't get when he came back with Retribution or when he came back a couple of years ago on Raw? Like, do you think this time is different or no?
I don't. I think he'll probably be brought in, like you said, to kind of put over some other people. I mean, I like him. I just don't see a future for him there. I mean, they've proven they just don't have that much invested in him. So, I mean, if he does, that's great, but I could see him putting over like a Theory or Ciampa and then kind of getting part ways, unfortunately. If I'm being honest.
No, I think that's going to happen too. I think I look at the situation and it screams Luke Harper a la 2019 when he asked for his release. Remember that? And then they brought him back for a little while and then he put whoever over and then he left again?
Yes.
Or then they gave him his release, so... Listen, if he wants out still, I think that's a good way of doing it. At least they're using him in the meantime. I don't think his contract is up for another couple of years, so it's better than nothing, I would say. It's definitely not it's not a great situation, but listen, I've said this before. If they're not going to do anything with him and they have him under contract, they're not obligated to let him go. They morally should. But at this point, if they're using him, even if it's to put other people over, then I think that's fine. I think at this point, it's fine. So we'll see where it goes. And
TV and can showcase a little bit of what you can do. I think it's worse when you're saying you want to release and then you're not on TV at all. Because the last time they saw him, he was a job joker on Retribution. So, I mean, if anything, you should be happy. At least he's on TV. Like I said, maybe he's putting people over, but at least you're showcasing what you can do.
I mean, a lot of people would have completely forgotten about him. Had he not been brought back, I'm not saying WWE's a saint in this situation at all, but what I'm saying is that I think it helps that he's back on TV before he ultimately leaves at some point. Because, like you said, it's not like he's off of TV, out of sight, out of mind for, 2 years or whatever, and then he automatically returns. It's like, oh, I completely forgot about this guy. Like, at least he has some buzz. And beating a former champion in The Miz, no less, too. Again, like I said, I thought it's not like they brought him back to lose to fucking Jackson Riker, who isn't even there anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah, I thought they did a good job by it. So we'll see what the follow-up is on Monday's Raw.